Welcome to the HockeySport Podcast, everybody.
You just messed that up. That was a disgrace. We only got one try at it. Yappy? Can't work with this guy. Doesn't know the name of the fucking show. All right, I'm doing it by myself. Welcome to the HockeySport Podcast. This is Steven broadcasting alone today. Daniel has been fired. We knew it was going to happen, but we're still sad to see him go. So for our first eulogy of the day, we are going to eulogize, put his jersey up in the rafters. Daniel, the HockeySport... No, Daniel, get the fuck out of here.
That's what I call an entrance. Cue the HockeySport Podcast music.
We already did. It's already played. It only gets one go. We don't have the rights to play it twice. You know that.
Just like Zeppelin.
You only get one.
They didn't have the rights to play it twice.
All right. Well, Daniel.
Wow.
It's exhausting.
That was a lot to handle. This is playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel tired. It's been...
How's your sleep been these days?
It's been rough. I don't know what's dream and what's real.
What have you been dreaming and what have you been living?
Choking. I've been choking on stuff. Choking.
A lot of choking in your
Fire
dreams.
falling inside fire. And
Really?
Planes crashing also.
Planes crashing,
And
fire.
You know that scene in March of the Penguins where they all jump off into the rocky... into the water,
kind of crash on the rocks. That's
that
been happening
too.
in your dream.
All of that at the
Is
same
there lightning going on?
Huge amount of lightning, and the lightning hits me, and I start to choke, and then Civil War.
Civil
For
War.
the Union.
Wow, that's horrifying. So are these waking or are these asleep?
These are waking dreams.
What do you?
Well, like almost like daydreams.
Are you having these now?
Day nightmares,
Day nightmares.
if you will.
Daymares.
Flashes, like a vision. Like all of a sudden, I'm taken out of reality. And it might be when I look at my phone too, because a lot of the times I check hockey
During
scores
your
on my phone.
daymares?
So it might be that. Maybe I'm just zoning in on the phone, but it's been extreme.
Yeah, those are extreme. You should see someone for that.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I see lots of people everywhere. I scream it on the streets.
That's not what I meant.
It's my kind of therapy. Just strangers.
Cheaper.
And more helpful, because they don't know you at all. So they give you objective, straight answers.
Well, actually, I mean, that it's interesting because the league, you know, the people in the penalty box,
Right, the guy in the suit.
the guy in the suit that's like writing stuff when the player comes in for the penalty. Whatever he does. Well, I mean, what they do, most people don't know this, is that they have a degree in psychiatry.
Wow.
So it's a chance. The original use of the penalty box was a chance for these
The players to vent
rather
their emotions.
mentally deranged hockey players,
Right.
To sort of fix some of the stuff going on, and
Right.
So you often, I mean, if you have a seat right beside the penalty box, you hear some crazy shit.
Right. That's why Chara's never in the box, because he's just a grounded
Yeah.
just individual. He knows.
He has no problems.
No problems whatsoever.
There's no emotional problems that Chara has.
When you're that tall and the air is that thin, that high up,
It makes your brain super powered.
suck it, Chara. Tall jokes.
People don't make fun of Chara. Like, I've heard a lot of jokes about Chara, like the fact that he's really ugly, like incredibly ugly. He's an ugly guy. He's untenably, unlookably shitty looking.
Unlookably, yeah. He's unlookable.
He's an unlookable.
Uh-huh.
But people don't talk about how tall he is. People are always talking about how ugly Chara is, but they
Right.
never talk about how tall he is.
I've even heard people say that he's short.
Really? Mm-hmm. These are some of your 7 foot tall friends.
8 feet even.
8 feet even.
8 feet even.
8 feet Steven.
8 feet Steven. Are you 8 feet?
I'm 7'6".
Stand up right now. I want to see.
I am standing. 7'6". They wanted me to play in the NBA, but I hate hoop sport. I think we've made that pretty clear.
Yeah, but man, can you dunk?
I can dunk. Title of the episode.
I've seen you dunk. Yeah, hockey players, do you think a lot of them go to therapy?
I can't imagine a hockey player in therapy. What would they say? I feel like they would be like, yeah, you really got to put the puck on the net. Get pucks
Yeah, no, I want to get back to you're talking about your wife and and how you
I feel like she just doesn't get that, like,
travel a lot.
you know,
You're talking about the travel.
Yeah, she doesn't get that you just got to get pucks on the net and, you know, you got to play your game. You know, best players got to be best players.
Right. But is it hard for you guys being sort of long distance, traveling a lot? Has that been hard? Or?
Yeah, you know, long distance sometimes means you get an icing, so you don't want to shoot it too long. You want to get past the red line before you take a shot. But
right. I feel like we're talking about the hockey game again. We want to be talking about your relationship.
My relationship. I'd say, like, generally my coaches are pretty good, and you know, you gotta have a lot of respect for guys like that. You know, he's brought a cup home, so yeah, you follow the coach, and you gotta keep pucks on that, keep pucks deep.
So when you get the pucks in deep, is your wife happy about that? Sad? How are the kids? When you score, how are the kids?
When I score, how are the kids? I mean, you know, it's playoff time, so, like, game's on the line, big 2 points. Big 2 points.
How many kids do you have?
Big 2 points. Do you think that Braden points kids he calls the big 2 points?
Yeah. Welcome to the HockeySport Podcast, everybody. I am one of your hosts. That's Stephen Morgan.
This is Stephen Morgan. That's Daniel Barber.
I'm Daniel Barber. Wow.
I just wanted to see if you'd correct me. You didn't.
No. I don't need to ever correct you.
Wow. That's Daniel Barber.
Bing, bong, bang, bong. A lot of teams are dead.
A lot of teams are dead.
They're dead.
It's been a sad day for a lot of these teams.
Wow. They're all dead. We've been waiting for this moment. We knew they'd die, but still, watching it is hard sometimes.
I've been going to a lot of funerals. It's difficult. It's a difficult time.
That's why I'm drinking so heavily.
You know, it's like, how much condolences can you offer to so many people affected by this slaughter?
I mean, this is why people tune into the HockeySport Podcast, because we condole.
We have been voted the nicest hockey broadcasters 6 years running. We've only been on the air for 2.
Number 1 condolers in the nation.
Yeah. We are the voice of reason during these dark times. And I, for one, want to use that responsibility to take this moment and this platform to say, we're fucked!
It's over.
It's over. There's no hope.
I am surprised at several things that have happened.
What's the first thing that surprised you in your life?
The other day, I got some pants with a button fly. Didn't mind it.
Interesting.
So that was kind of surprising.
Yeah. I also was skeptical of button flies, and then when you've tried them, they're not that different.
The other thing that surprised me was that Tampa Bay got swept.
Tampa Bay got swept.
Wow. Shit, man. That was rough.
That was really rough. And it's with a heavy heart that we do have to eulogize more teams today. More teams than we would ever expected. And
this is a harsh day because it's like several funerals are happening at the same time around the cemetery. And they were like, why don't we all just do it at the same time? They all just got together, dug a bigger hole, and were lowering put them all in the same hole.
Yeah. This is eulogies of the eliminated teams, mass grave style.
Right. So we have to have a lot of funerals here at the HockeySport Podcast. We like to eulogize each team as
every
they
team
fall.
deserves a good eulogy.
Yeah. We call it eulogy.
Yeah. Like, you know, in this case, they died in a form, the emotional equivalent to getting your jersey pulled over your head till you're blind and then being punched through your own jersey. So it's a eulogy.
And it's a nice pun. But, you know, since the first round, a lot of teams are going down. There's a lot of deaths.
Yeah, it's time to put these teams in the ground more than they already have themselves.
Put them to the eternal bed.
The long sleep.
The long sleep.
Forecast is calling for no more lightning.
Forecast is calling for eternal darkness.
Get ready to cry.
Get ready to die.
You never knew sadness
Like
till now.
this before. Happiness is gone.
You're
Love
never gonna
is
live
gone.
again. Never
Hate
gonna
is
love
gone.
again.
It's nothing forever.
Eternal blackness.
Eternal blackness.
Darkness and all that.
We do funerals.
We do funerals. We also do funerals. It's a burgeoning part of our business model, but if you would like us to eulogize your loved one, we do funerals.
We do weddings too. Same song.
We do weddings, same song, similar tone.
So we don't do as many weddings.
We don't do that many funerals. To be fair, we haven't.
We will do.
We
them.
will
Sorry,
be doing them.
We can do them.
We would like to do
We'd
them.
like to. I'd love to do a funeral.
If you die, send us a message.
Me?
No. I mean, I would do your funeral.
Oh, the royal you.
I assume I'm hosting your funeral live.
I assume you'll be
On
murdering
air.
me. I assume you'll be murdering me.
I will be there for your funeral and your death. Promise. Promise kept.
Promise kept is a promise made. So we got to do some eulogies.
And the first eulogy. The
This
first team out.
This is a eulogy that's going to shock the nation.
I don't know if you've heard yet, but we are about to eulogize the best regular season team ever. I don't know.
Maybe
Possibly ever.
Maybe ever. Do your research. Figure it out.
Yes.
Compare the teams.
A team that couldn't play well because they were weighed down by all the awards they're carrying with them. The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, Kucherov really shouldn't have been wearing that Art Ross around his neck the whole season.
I
mean, it was bold.
It was bold and badass.
And he did win it, but I mean,
yeah.
it was heavy in the playoffs. He shouldn't have been wearing it in the playoffs. Shed it in the playoffs.
I would have thought that having the Vezina Trophy in the crease with Vasilevsky would have stopped a couple shots, but they just shot around the Vezina Trophy.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it still stopped more shots than Vasilevsky did, but I just think in the future, having John Cooper have the Jack Adams Trophy with him at all times
Right.
stopped him from being able to do pretty much anything.
I did like it when he hucked it at the ref, though.
That was pretty great. I mean, that's the main reason we get these trophies is they're sharp, they fly aerodynamically.
They're huckable.
They're huckable. I heart huckable trophies. I'm thrilled that we got the chance to break this news to the hockey world. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy that most of our audience, no spoilers, doesn't watch any hockey until the HockeySport Podcast comes out and gets it from us first.
I think it's often a good call to break shocking news posthumously.
As opposed to before they die?
Pre-posthumously.
Pre-posthumously.
It's a word.
That's not a word.
It's a triple word. Got 3 words in it. Triple word score. Scrabble. You ever played Scrabble?
Scrabble?
It's a word.
Scrabble.
Scrubblers.
Scribble?
What are we talking about?
Scrolf?
Scrolf?
Scrolf.
Scrolf. Frolf, golf, and Scrabble all mixed into one.
All
We just
at one.
invented a new sport. Again.
As if we haven't done enough for the sport world.
It's basically Frolf, but every hole you play a game of Scrabble.
It's frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf with a Scrabble
Which
board.
is already 2 things.
With a Scrabble board.
With a Scrabble board instead of a frisbee.
Great.
And every time you get a hole, you get a certain number of letters that you then have to balance on the Scrabble board while you throw it.
Yeah, magnetic tiles.
Magnetic
so they don't
tiles.
Flip off.
Exactly. Triple word score.
Triple word score.
And then the final score is based on the Scrabble game alone.
I mean, we just came up with it 30 seconds ago, and I think we already have a pretty solid groundwork for the rest of the game.
I think the rulebook has been
Written.
done.
Wrote by itself.
Very good. It'll be an appendix to our HockeySport Podcast.
Oh, my
book.
appendix! Eulogy.
Eulogy. Thank God.
Let's do it. Let's start it off. Kick it off.
That joke really landed. Kicking it off.
Oh, Scrolf, because it lands.
Nope, I was just saying that joke was funny.
Oh, I thought you were punning it.
Nope, no pun there. No pun intended.
No pun there.
There was none. No one ever says no pun intended when they really didn't make a pun.
And
Like if I said like your shirt looks good, no pun intended. That's a perfectly good use of that phrase, and yet it's kind of underused.
Yeah. Also, nobody says pun intended.
It's always
we use
intended.
we use puns all the time.
It's always intended. So let's give the people what they came here to do. They came here to remember a fallen giant. Let's lift the gravestone into the rafters for the Tampa Bay Lightning. What is on the gravestone for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Tampa took a dive.
They took a dive. They
It's
threw
obvious.
the match.
It's obvious.
Easy.
How else
People,
can you
open
figure it out?
your eyes.
4
I'm
zip?
surprised. People are always overestimating the league and what they're
Right.
willing to do.
Right.
Shocking. They threw the match, and what confirmed it for me was, sure, you might lose in 5 games like another team we might talk about, or 6 games like another team we might talk about,
Sure.
or 7 games like the Toronto Maple Leafs. But losing in 4, do you know how much money you would make if you had bet $100 on the Tampa Bay Lightning being swept?
I don't, but you know who does?
$17 billion.
Yeah, and you know who knows that number intimately? Mr. Cooper, Mr. Kucherov, Mr. Scream Ghost.
Steven Scream Ghost. They threw it. It was a classic pump and dump, and we fell for it. Raise the stocks. It's the same thing as last year. We saw it twice, and we fell for it both times. The world's biggest underdog goes to the Cup final, made a killing, Vegas. This year, the world's greatest overdog stumbles out of the gates, doesn't win a game.
It's very obvious that it was a dive. To
It's a
me,
dive.
at least.
And no disrespect to Columbus. It doesn't take anything away from their accomplishment.
No.
The fact that they
Yep.
played against a team that was deliberately trying to lose, obviously so,
Yep.
doesn't take away from the Columbus Blue Jackets' ability to just be in the vicinity of it.
Yeah. No disrespect to Columbus. They wouldn't have stood a chance if Tampa was actually trying. They were a bad hockey team.
I think we can all agree on that.
Full of losers and idiots. No disrespect.
No disrespect to Columbus. I think that most of them have never played a game of hockey before in their life and suck.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
No disrespect to Columbus, but the fans don't deserve it.
We're not making fun of them.
No disrespect.
There is
No
no
disrespect.
fun intended with what we're saying about Columbus right now. Mm-hmm. New phrase.
No fun intended.
No fun intended. Because
No fun intended, pun intended, because it is a pun.
no fun intended, pun intended about the no fun. Yep,
Right,
clear,
right,
very
right.
clear. Easy to follow.
Starting to
Easy
really
follow.
percolate.
Snap, snap, snap,
It's
snap,
starting
snap.
to percolate. You feeling this?
Anyways,
folks?
how much
You
money
feeling
did
this?
you make off of the Tampa Bay Lightning's flop in the 3rd round? By 3rd round, I mean 1st round.
I immediately bet it on the Pittsburgh Penguins coming back. And,
Classic.
I lost it all.
You lost it all. So you were up and then you let it ride.
I always
It's
let it
admirable.
ride. You got to
It's
let it
admirable.
ride, dude. You got to let it ride.
I mean, it's as much as I hate the idea of these teams throwing matches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's what you get when you invite, the Fox into the henhouse, the Vegas Golden Knights into the league.
Right.
CEO of the Vegas Golden Knights, Robert De Niro, has really changed the way that this sport is played.
Bobby D. and
It's all about the bet. It's all about the gambling. It's all about the mafia.
Also, I like that you've obviously started to do this, and I encourage anyone listening to the podcast or watching to start doing this. Hockey match. Let's add a little bit more class to the game. A hockey match. What is this
hockey match.
game? It's not a game to me.
yeah, greatest game on earth.
More like greatest match
Greatest match.
ever invented by a gentleman. Thank you very much.
Very important.
Let's just bring a little bit more class to it.
Should
Look
we?
how classy we are
Look
right
how
now.
classy we are.
This is the definition of class.
This is the definition of class, exactly. Which version of the HockeySport attire are you sporting today, Daniel? For the visually impaired people that do not watch us on YouTube, there's a little bit of tape on there. That tape is in case you need to green screen in a small thing.
Sure. In case I need to green screen in
You
some
put that-
nicer cuffs.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I don't
put
have
that
any.
right there.
It's just buttons.
There's a little bit of green tape on your cuff. Green screen in
Right.
some nicer cuffs.
It's because we're tech savvy here at the HockeySport Podcast.
We're tech savvy.
And we're classy.
You wouldn't know it, but me and Daniel are actually on different continents right now.
That's just how good our editors are.
He's live from Liberia.
Live from Liberia, it's the HockeySport Podcast.
Our next Eulogies, putting up in the rafters, the team that many would have thought would be good and is. I'm just going to say that. They are good.
Yep.
They're a good team. Doesn't matter. Pittsburgh Penguins.
Penguinus. They're gone. Pittsburgh was bad. No explanation.
Pittsburgh Penguins losing this year is like when
I have
you get dumped in a text. It's like, what? Oh, I can't come tonight. Also, I'm going to see other people.
We're broken up. What?
What?
And your friends are like, why did they break up with you? And
You're
you're
like,
like,
I don't know. I don't know.
And it's 2 years later, still don't know.
And then you see them later walking around with some new person, and it's the New York Islanders.
Yeah, and they're
and you're like,
kinda
the
awkward, and you're like, what the
Islanders?
fuck? I to this date, I haven't heard anyone explain as to why they lost that series.
Someone
No one
tell
knows.
me
No one
why
knows.
the Islanders are good.
I don't know.
This is a whole separate thing, but someone tell me.
That should be maybe their eulogy right there.
Someone tell me why they're good.
Someone tell me why the Islanders are good.
That could be the Pittsburgh Penguins eulogy.
Yep, I'm into that.
What's interesting about the Pittsburgh Penguins is
PPs.
that the PPs as they like to be called.
The PPs.
If you thought you were coming to this podcast for something more intelligent than PP jokes, fuck yourself.
You were wrong.
So to reiterate, the gravestone of the Pittsburgh Penguins going into the rafters was...
potentially, why are the Islanders good?
That should live in their stadium for the rest of time.
Sure.
The Islanders?
Yeah.
2 question marks?
Just put that. You know how they have flags for everything that they've won? Put up an Islanders flag. Beat us in the first round that one time.
Yeah.
Right in the
That's fair. You should have...
Just as a reminder.
Instead of memorializing...
victory,
you should put your greatest defeats in the rafters. Mm-hmm. There should be a Boston Bruins Stanley Cup banner in Rogers Arena in Vancouver. I say that barfing internally.
Yep.
Stomach, creating barf, going up, going back down. That's how much I hate what I just said. But it's fair.
You swallowed it.
Yep. That's fair. Also lost in 5 games to the LA Kings. That should be in our rafters. It's part of our history more. It's like do you remember like the nice nights you have? No, you remember the night that you got your like heart broken.
Yeah, that's right. All the best stories are things gone wrong.
And if there's one thing that Canucks fans like to do, it's wallow. And that's a great opportunity for wallowing.
Wallow it and swallow it.
Wallow in it. We will. We certainly will. The Pittsburgh Penguins, I have to say, we're not usually the types to say stuff like this, but we were very wrong. Incredibly wrong.
We were wrong.
We were very wrong.
I'll take it.
We'll take it. We said confidently last episode.
First for everything.
It was a first for everything. This is the first time. Chalk it up. Let's look at the scoreboard.
Oh, just one?
One.
Pretty good score to me. Pretty good score to me.
But in a much more real sense, we were right. We didn't know how right we were.
Exactly. So
last
take it down.
episode,
We're not wrong.
we said that the Pittsburgh Penguins could just win the cup, which was true. They could have won the cup.
That's all we said.
That's not wrong.
That's all we said. Could. Check the tapes.
Second thing we said, which is going on the gravestone, Sidney Crosby is the new Alex Ovechkin.
Sometimes you have to be wrong to be right.
We had no idea how right we were.
It's cyclical. It's circular.
Sidney Crosby is the new 2010 Alex Ovechkin.
Can he get it done? Can
Does he have what it
perform in the
takes?
playoffs?
Does he have the heart?
Doesn't show up to big games.
Does he care?
You know?
Does he only care about Russia winning a gold medal?
He's lost my trust, is what I'm saying.
He's lost our trust. He never had it.
I don't trust Crosby anymore, and I'm never going to the Maritimes again until he wins another cup. That's a promise.
That's a promise. What was your first time in the Maritimes?
My first time in the Maritimes? My maritime first time.
Flash sideways.
Ocean. Oh, we gotta get these lobsters. Oh, the way the storm's coming. Oh, my toe! I lost my toe. Yep, that's when I lost my toe.
Wow.
Hauling lobster cages.
See, I'd always heard the story of you losing your toe, but I forgot that you've lost 2 toes.
Yep.
And it wasn't the first toe, which was a raccoon.
I've lost 2 toes, yet I still have 20 toes. Think about that.
The good thing about inbreeding.
Think about that.
Moving on. Pittsburgh Penguins, you are...
PPs.
The PPs. You are the new Caps. And we will not believe in your ability to win until you defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yep. They have to defeat themselves.
Isn't the biggest enemy of victory oneself? In the Penguins, it definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like the guy in the penalty box right now giving me therapy advice. That's what you sound like.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, in terms of cheap therapy, getting a penalty in the NHL is very affordable. It's just hard to get on the ice to kick that penalty.
Yeah, well, they probably don't give them, a lot of benefits after they leave the league. They have all the concussions and stuff. So it's a good thing to get the therapy in during the games.
Yes, exactly. How come when streakers go on the ice, and yes, it does happen, not enough, in our opinion.
Nope. Not
How come when
nearly
streakers
enough.
go on the
Lower
ice?
Fines.
Lower the fines.
It seems
Make
like
it more accessible. If there's one thing Vegas could do well,
great.
Naked people on the ice.
It seems like a very harsh fine. It's not 5, maybe even 10,000. I'm not sure the exact number.
I'd say it should be a 5-minute major, maybe a double minor.
Sure, throw them in the box.
Naked.
Yeah.
Naked in that box, and then you got the psychotherapist beside you really telling you what's wrong with you.
Sign him to a entry-level contract to the Oilers.
Ooh, that's not cool. That's harsh. I don't know why you do that. I feel queasy.
All right, sorry.
I just can't believe you would do that to somebody. Make them play for the Oilers?
I'm sorry, it's a joke.
Yeah, well, sometimes things go too far.
It's
know?
just
There's
a
some
joke,
things you
though.
don't
It's
joke
just
about.
a joke. I would never actually want somebody to go on to the Oilers. It's just a fucking joke.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Sometimes you disappoint me, Daniel.
I'm sorry. Okay. I feel bad about talking about the Oilers in the postseason. It's not. I know it's not cool.
Anyways, yeah. In fact, we're not on Zambonis yet, but we should Zamboni.
No, I just feel bad about it.
You know what, Dan? We forgive you. The audience forgives you.
How do you know they're not?
It's the Edmonton Oilers are kind of too soon. You know, it's just too soon.
It is too soon.
It's like, whoa, ooh, yikes.
Yeah.
I don't know when Edmonton Oilers jokes will be funny again, but for now, it's a little too real.
It is too soon.
Maybe next time they get a first overall pick, then they can be funny again.
Sure, I'm into that.
Yeah. So next year, sweet.
Next year, trade McDavid. They'll get one.
Trade McDavid. Bringing us to our next Eulogies. We're jumping ahead because we have to do it.
We got to jump.
We're just jumping straight.
Might as well jump.
Jump to the Calgary Flames.
Wow. That was depressing.
The Eulogies that's going up in the rafters is...
Johnny Gaudreau is like a Werner Herzog film. It's like I see like Johnny Gaudreau directed by Werner Herzog.
All the
in
cutscenes.
The Game 5 existential disaster.
All the cutscenes to Johnny Gaudreau on the bench or after his penalty shot, you could just hear Werner Herzog's voice.
Just being like, slow zoom on Johnny's face. Just, when I look at Johnny Gaudreau, I don't see a man. I see chaos, hostility, and murder. You know?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That suits.
I see pure indifference in the nature of the Calgary Flames. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
So right before the penalty shot.
Underneath the ice of the Settle Dome is an abyss of darkness. Something like that. Mm-hmm. You know?
And then as they're going through the handshake, Werner Herzog's still talking. He's going...
Handshake after handshake, all my mind can think of is the mute expression on each player's face, the bored stare of failure, encapsulated in the final handshake. Between goalie and goalie, two men who must stand in front of a failing team again and again and again.
So now he's going into the dressing room. The series is over.
Series is over.
Fans are wanting to handshake, but he decides not to.
As the Calgary Flames player walks into the dressing room, sadly, I see now that the true ugly face of failure is not that of rage, but of pure indifference. It's true, though. When I look into Johnny Gaudreau's eyes, just eternal darkness. Nothing else. That was sad.
Yeah. That's it's good news too, because our vote and our listeners are going to be able to help us make this happen, but to replace Bob Cole, I think Werner Herzog. Based on what we can now expect in playoffs to come, we're going to need a much more depressing, existential, and freaky commentator to take on these weird series that are coming out.
I would love to see those shots of Johnny just zooming in, slow zoom on his face.
Which is why going up into the rafters in Werner Herzog's voice is just, we finally just feel bad for you. Congratulations, Calgary.
I finally feel eternal sadness. We feel bad.
Yeah, we feel bad.
I finally feel eternal sadness.
What's amazing about
something like
Calgary is how quickly I was rooting for them. We'd said on record.
I was rooting for them too.
Canadian Cups.
Canadians.
Exactly. We were rooting for them. And what's amazing is how quickly, the moment that game ended, I went from rooting for Calgary to being elated at their loss. Just
laughter,
joy.
Hilarious.
It was like the entire game nail-biting, wanting them to score, wanting them to win.
I was like, no, come
the
on.
second they lost.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's so funny
that's
that they
so
lost.
funny. 110
So funny.
points.
Oh, man, they suck.
You were so
they
good.
Suck, dude. You guys
You were
suck.
good.
This sucks. You suck.
They suck.
This is
they
so bad.
suck. What suckies?
This is total suckfest. Calgary Flames?
The Winnipeg Jets
The
really put the
Winnipeg
lose in
Jets.
Winnipeg. We have one for them? Nope.
We sure don't.
We didn't write one?
Didn't write one.
We did not write a eulogy for... We did not write one.
You know what? They're still in the playoffs.
You know, that's the
Fuck
spirit.
it. I don't care.
Fuck it.
God damn it. There's going to be a game 7.
Bennington, bullshit.
Yeah, he's going to lose. Jets win.
Jets in 7.
Jets in 7.
Gravestone, Jets in 7.
Bring it down. I don't give a shit. They're still in it.
Still
I don't
fucking
care.
in it.
Fuck
Man.
you. You fucking St. Louis Blueser. Fuck you. They're in it. It's game 7. And Jets win 3-2. Overtime. Fuck you.
Fuck you. That segment was brought to you by Denial. I think that after what Winnipeg did at home, I think the only thing we can do is move them back to Atlanta. And I'm saying this as someone who didn't even want Atlanta to exist moments ago before I started this sentence. But here we are. They don't have any success in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
The only way we're bringing a cup back to Canada is moving the Jets to Atlanta.
Sure. I'm totally into it.
Calling them the Winnipeg Jets still, but
Yeah.
they play in Atlanta.
Yeah, and maybe just the home games. Just the playoff home games.
Because at this point, fact.
in Atlanta. Get ready for a fact.
Are you ready for a fact? I know you guys weren't expecting facts today. It's not why you're listening, but you're going to get one. The Atlanta Flashers have lost less home playoff games than Winnipeg Jets.
That's a tornado of facts.
Yeah.
A tornado of flame and Jets. I think we should move them to Atlanta. We should do some bullshit celebrations like Carolina does the Storm Surge or something.
Unrelated Carolina dig.
Unrelated Carolina dig, but I'm just saying that I'm throwing everything at the wall here.
It's just everything.
Yeah.
We're doing storm surges in the Jets.
Storm Surges. Move them to No, don't move them to Atlanta because they're still in. And they're going to win the cup.
Okay. So you're going for denial. I'm going for cold, hard facts. As usual, one of us is right, and it's neither of us.
Jets beat the Leafs. Game 7. Overtime. Stanley Cup final. As long as it's in here, it's out there.
This is the most psychological episode we've ever had.
Sometimes you need to vent your psychological angst.
Do you think you're projecting your own personal failings onto the Winnipeg Jets, and that's why you can't accept their loss?
I would never do that ever in a million years. Jets win every game. They went... I can't believe they won every game this year.
I think we need to look at this a little further, there, Daniel.
Every game.
No, I don't think you're really grappling
And
with what
shutouts,
happened.
too. First team ever. Shutouts all the way down. Turtles all the way down. Shutouts all the way down.
Schwartz.
Who?
Schwartz.
Who?
Schwartz.
Don't. How dare you?
What do you mean? How dare you? So you hat trick Schwartz?
Don't bring reality into this.
Hat trick Schwartz? That doesn't mean anything to you? I think we need to truly grapple with what's going on deeper.
Mm-hmm. Put me in the box.
All right. 2 minutes in the box with the psychotherapist.
Nope. Penalty's up. Penalty's over. Therapy's done. I'm fixed.
It's over?
Put me back on the ice.
Okay, I'm trusting you.
Don't worry about it.
Jets win? Did they win? Did they win or not?
They won a couple games.
All right. He's cured, everybody. He's cured. Wow, it sounds like the Saddle Dome here.
It's the sounds
Of the
Saddle
Saddle
Dome.
Dome. The
Of
Saddle Dome.
And restless fans, they walk alone.
Dun, 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 dun.
Down the streets, snow blown.
Dun, 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 dun.
Johnny Gaudreau missed the penalty shot.
Ah,
Then he missed a fucking breakaway.
ah,
And his goal
ho.
was disallowed by the referee. That makes 3.
It's the sound of the
the
Saddle
Saddle
Dome.
As for Nashville, we just Zambonied them, so...
You might remember last time.
They're
We shouldn't
zammed.
even be talking about this.
They're zammed.
We can't even talk about this.
They're zammed.
We permastand the Nashville Predators. We're breaching it just to remind you guys why we are not eulogizing them. But we told you so.
Frankly, it's a load off our shoulders because if we had to keep not talking about them, it would have got tiring.
I was dying to talk about that team. I have so much to say about Victor Arvidsson. Much to say.
That's already it's already a little bit too much.
But I won't because they're perma-stand. Anyways, Nashville, you're unfortunately in this case, the banner going to the rafters says nothing.
Put them on a plane to perma-stand.
For now, that is all eulogies.
For now.
You're going to have to tune in to hear the rest. So don't watch any games tomorrow. Don't watch any Game 7s.
Don't watch any games today because there's 2 today. There's games every day, so we're always going to be a little bit behind.
Except if stay away from spoilers.
No spoilers.
Go on the HockeySport Podcast website and download our app, which blocks all spoilers, hockey spoilers.
You shouldn't be watching the games. You should be getting all the news from us.
Yeah.
So don't watch the games. Don't follow along. We'll tell you what's going on. Just tune out and then tune in.
Yeah. It's the Hockey News Network. It's all news.
We got you covered. We got you covered with everything you need to know.
We're going to do stories that are world of non-sport. Coming soon.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Might even talk about just random shit.
Yeah. You want news coverage of dogs saving babies, we will do that for you as long as you promise to watch no other news and believe everything we say.
Yep.
It's a simple promise.
It's a simple question.
And it comes from the heart. Johnny Voodoo sucks. Well, Daniel.
Yes?
With all those teams in the ground in the mass grave
that
we've made for them.
Bury them down there.
It's time to move on. And it's focused on the living. Mm-hmm. And I think it might be time to cue the HockeySport Podcast theme music. And we're back.